In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You are advised that any view expressed by the host or their guest are not necessarily the views of the owners or management of TogiNet Radio, Togi Entertainment, or the Owners Group, Inc.
It's time for Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues today, with Sandra Beck and Christy Holly. Ladies, Motherhood Talk Radio is here to give you a powerful platform by giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. Motherhood Talk Radio has interviews with best-selling authors, gurus of happiness, and women of interest who every single day make our world a better place for our families. Motherhood Talk Radio, powered by Motherhood Incorporated, is on the air now. Moms, this really is your show. Motherhood Talk Radio. And now, here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Hey, mamas, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Christy Holly and Rick Swanson. And Christy, you look really nice today. I'm in a bad mood. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Anyhow, thank you.
I know, you're looking good in your jeans.
Well, thank you. Let me adjust.
Okay, we already saw your son do that at the Christmas pageant. We don't need to see you do it here in the office.
I know. Well, at least he had an audience.
That's true. That's true. He had a big audience. And we had a very big weekend. That's probably why I'm tired and crabby.
Probably.
I know. We had Toys for Tots on. Well, first of all, we cooked. We cooked for like 6 or 7 hours on Friday, and we want to thank Rick's mom and sister who came and helped us cook, Christy's sister Laura, who helped us cook, along with Donna Kennedy, who also works for Motherhood. We had a big crowd, and Anna Rosa, and Anna Maria, of course.
Yes.
It was a big crowd.
Yeah, and it was fun.
It was fun. The cooking was fun, and then we had 150 people, and we collected over 1,000 toys on Saturday at our annual Toys for Tots party. Motherhood Incorporated sponsors that party. And
good job.
We all did a good job. We couldn't have done it. When I think of getting ready, it's like if... like on Wednesday, Rick went with me to Sam's Club and lugged everything, which was really heavy stuff, for that many people. And then, Christy, you came and helped cook, and, we were there hosting and welcoming everybody, and it was a really, really fun time.
It was a great time.
Now I'm overtired and crabby.
I was overtired and crabby on Sunday.
Were you?
Yes.
See, but Sunday we had to go. We went to church in the morning, then we had rehearsal, and then we had to get the kids there for the Christmas pageant, or whatever, Christmas concert. Whatever it was super fun.
It was super fun, but it was crazy for me on that day. I was just, done.
Yeah, I thought you were going to kill somebody at Target.
I thought I was, too. Well, your little child?
Yes, it would have been my child you killed who was standing at the register. I mean, this is what a typical mom Christmas is. Christy's standing there. Her child is good as gold.
I was so happy. I just love when other people's kids throw fits.
Oh, and he was going, I know where the movies are. Because he wanted a Dora movie, and I said no, and I of course lied to my own child.
You said there were no movies at Target, and he knows darn well that they have movies at Target.
Yeah, and he pitched a fit. It was a good 35 minutes that he screamed all the way in Target through the line, through the parking lot, the drive from the Target parking lot to the church parking lot, and then we stood outside the church for a good, I would say, 15 minutes while he raised the roof.
Yeah. You're like, do you want some candy?
You want
candy? No!
My favorite part was the tears rolling down his face in the car going, but I said please.
I was good.
No, I was good. No, you really weren't, son. You really weren't.
Oh, great.
Yeah, well, it was great for you. It wasn't so great for me.
Well, that was the only time. Well, no, Nick was being good there, but throughout the day, he had just, all three of them were just at each other, and I was just done by the time going to church, and then coming back home, and then going back there to be there at a certain time and having them ready. It was a lot.
I was really glad to hand them over. I mean, I got to tell you, when Charlotte made the call for the older kids, I was like, oh, thank God. And then when Chantal came out and she's like, okay, Wacky, it's time to go. I almost drop-kicked him.
No, I was jealous.
The church.
was jealous because Nick wanted his M&Ms, then he wanted water, then he wanted juice, then he had to go to the bathroom. It was just nonstop.
And that's kind of sums up, I think, December, the holiday season, lots of meltdowns. And one of the things that we find, like I find, if I don't have a massage regularly, go get a manicure and pedicure more than 3 times a year, I start to get really crabby, and I feel like, I'm just doing everything for everybody else. There's nothing coming in. Everything's going out. And that brings us to our topic today. We are going to have Kitty Morse from Heirloom Wooden Toys come on later, but right now I would like to talk with Rick and Christy about guilty pleasures.
Oh.
Yeah, because if we don't have any guilty pleasures now and then, life is really boring.
That's true.
But you know what? Rick was talking today about men don't have guilty pleasures. Is that true, Rick?
Well, when I was doing some research for the show, we finally decided what we're going to talk about. I was looking through it, and the article is from CNN.com, and it says men don't have guilty pleasures. So I'm like, of course I got to look at this. And the author's claiming that, in fact, men, instead of having guilt over it, we're actually proud of it and celebrate what's bad for you. And instantly it popped in my brain is nitro, 151, pizza. So I don't know. To me, it seems plausible.
Well, is that just maybe because guys don't feel a lot of guilt?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. You're representing, 3 billion people on the planet right now. Don't feel any pressure to answer.
Right. No, of course not. I don't know, but I only have this one article for men, and I have 2 full pages for women. It was a lot easier to find guilty pleasures for women for some reason.
Well.
I did Google.
Some aren't even on there.
Yeah. Do you have to feel guilty, though, for it to be a guilty pleasure? That's what was kind of confusing to me. So do I have to feel bad about it?
No, I think maybe people think that you should feel guilty about it, but you really don't. It's something that maybe you should be, but you're guilty for not being guilty. I don't know.
Guilty for not being guilty. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes. You should that maybe that you should feel guilty, but you don't.
See, and I don't, when I'm looking at some of these lists about guilt, it's there's some of these things that are guilt, the top 10 or whatever guilty pleasures to indulge in, and one of them I'm just going to, because I'm in my bad mood today, I'm going to take exception to is the chick lit or romance novels. I think they provide a valuable service to women, having worked for Harlequin and having written chick lit and romance novels myself. One thing they don't put on here is that romance novels are the top-selling genre of all books in all markets, so they can't be guilty pleasures because everybody buys them. I mean, Christy, have you ever bought a romance novel?
No.
I don't believe you.
I haven't.
I'm with Christy.
All right. Thank you, my illiterate co-host.
No, I mean, I've bought books. I've not.
Okay, well, let's classify. You don't have to buy a Harlequin romance.
Okay. You know why it would be a guilty pleasure? Just taking the time.
Because you don't read?
No. Taking the time away to read something, when I should be doing other things that need to get done, that's a guilty pleasure for me. Just because, I love mysteries. I love, with a little romance. I'm not all
Does anyone get kissed in the mysteries?
Well,
so maybe the romantic suspense?
Maybe, but not all porn books. I don't what? But I'm just saying, for me, that is a guilty pleasure, just getting the time to even look through a magazine sometimes, or,
But I think
history books.
That's part of being a mom and part of being a wife, I think, because it's if we are not in service to everybody else all the time, I think we're culturally conditioned somehow to believe we're doing something wrong. My time is in the bathtub. I love to read my magazine.
Well, I'm glad you get in the bathtub. I have kids banging on the door, sticking their hands under the door. I mean, it's not happening unless no one's home, which that's not.
That's true.
That's very rare at my house.
That's true. But Rick, why don't you cover some of these guilty pleasures?
Yes, please.
Sure. Okay. Now you already took one of them off the list, the chicklet, so we don't have to. We won't.
Actually no, we didn't take it off. We removed it from the list. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. This list is the top 9 guilty pleasures to indulge in. It comes from allwomentalk.com. And the first one they listed is kind of curious to me, listening to unfashionable music. And I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what that entails.
Like Barry Manilow?
And Neil Diamond, maybe?
That are like secret guilty.
Celine Dion, I don't know.
Like, do you listen to, like, Barbara Streisand or something? Or Liza Minnelli?
Me? I've heard
Liza fan.
I'm
I listen
sure.
to pretty much everything, though. So,
Checking.
I don't know. That one I think is kind of just moot point. But the number 2, though, watching trashy TV, yes, I'm very guilty of that.
You're a big Jerry Springer fan?
I used to watch it more when I was younger, but now I got hooked on the Jersey Shore for some weird reason. Maybe it's because I'm so Guido. I don't know.
You like to pretend you're there.
If you break the show down and you look at it, there's really no inherent redeeming value to it. It's like,
is that the one with Snooki on
yes,
it?
a bunch of like buff Italian dudes who like work out and tan and drink a lot and pick up girls at the nightclubs. And then all the drama. That's pretty much it if you broke it down. But it's so entertaining. I don't know what it is about it.
I got to pass on the trashy TV.
You don't watch any trashy TV?
I really don't. I don't. I know.
Okay. We'll give you extra credit for reading. So since you don't watch the TV...
Great. Really helping my bad mood, Bear. Okay, let's go on to chocolate, because chocolate's got to be on the list, isn't it?
Chocolate, well, tip 1. Reading a celebrity magazine was number 3.
Oh, I do that. I have subscription to Us, and I get a whole bunch of them. But to be fair, they are come free to my company. I just have to select them.
But you do read them.
Oh, my God, yes. Are you kidding? I love to look at what the ugly outfit of the week is one of my favorites. And that when they take pictures of celebrities' butts and show their cellulite.
I know, so great.
Oh, so you guys, we're going to have to go to break in about 15 seconds. So my name is Sandra Beck. I'm the host, the Getting Happier hostess.
Getting Happier, please.
Of Motherhood Talk Radio, along with Christy Holly and Rick Swanson. We will be welcoming Kitty from Heirloom Wooden Toys after we finish our segment about guilty pleasures, which we will pick up when we come back from break. I would encourage you guys to check us out on iTunes and check us out on motherhoodtalkradio.com and toginet.com.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these.
Y'all wave your hands, look who's on, it's Dakota Man Keith and he's number 1. Now you might think Juan's youth was sad, right? Cause he had a deaf ear, mommy and dad, right? But that ain't the case, it wasn't his fate, no. The Juans never struggled to communicate. Y'all wave your hands, look who's on, it's Dakota Man Keith and he's number 1.
It's That Keith Wan Show on TogiNet.com, Wednesday nights at 8, 7 Central. Every week, That Keith Wan Show will have guests that share their experiences, expertise, opinions, and personal lives with us to hopefully help us better understand others. The topics and guests will come from the American Sign Language community. For more on Keith Wan and the show, go to his website, KeithWan.com. Listen with an open mind and willingness to learn and help with the cultural bridge.
Number 1, Keith's number 1. Everybody clap cause Dakota Man's on. Number 1, Keith's number 1. Everybody clap cause Dakota Man's on.
Don't miss That Keith Wan Show, Wednesday nights at 8, 7 Central on TogiNet.com.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown with Alex Price.
So where were you in the 1970s? Well, this Saturday morning, we're going to flash back to the 70s as we count down the classic hits with the American Rock and Roll Countdown. You'll hear news and information and stories about the artist and what was going on during the specific week that we highlight. So be sure to join us at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this Saturday on TogiNet for the American Rock and Roll Countdown.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown on TogiNet.
Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Hey, mamas. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Christy Holly. I'm feeling much better with my Diet Coke.
I'm glad to hear that.
You know, that and the fact that Rick is going to talk to us about guilty pleasures.
Ah.
So we talked about watching trashy TV. He's our resident Guido. Listening to unfashionable music. You're welcome. Reading a celebrity magazine, of which I get many. And chocolate, now, I just think that's necessary. I don't think that that's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, that's a given.
I don't even get chocolate. I don't even like it. I know.
What?
I don't. I don't know what it is about it. Like, my mom loves it. My sister loves it. Pretty much any woman or girl you talk to, like, likes it. I just don't care for it.
Boo.
Yeah, my ears.
Willy Wonka hates you.
I know.
I would trade an In-N-Out burger for any chocolate, anytime.
So really you're talking about fat and salt is your preference?
Yeah, like greasy, like diner food, burgers, fat, yeah.
Okay. Good to know. But you do not feel guilty when eating said greasy, fatty food.
According to my brothers, I don't feel nearly enough guilt as I should. It's like you look too dang happy. Like last night, I was drinking these big Arizona iced teas with dinner, and I had like this huge foot-long meatball sandwich from Subway, and he's like this little 6-inch chicken breast, only drinks water, and he's like, oh no, there's too many calories in that.
So you're a foot long and he's a 6-inch? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, that's what we ate.
Oh.
Sandwiches from Subway. Yeah, but I was like chugging the sweet tea down. I'm really happy. And he almost like has this look of disgust. Like, how can you be that happy drinking all those calories? I'm like, because it's good. I don't want to drink water the rest of my life.
Oh, Rona just, we heard her inhale all of Southern California, heard the,
She gasped.
She did.
I mean, water is important, but I mean, it's in the iced tea, right?
Right.
Right.
It's made with water, I think.
You have to have something to mix all those artificial dyes, colorants, and chemicals in. Come on.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So, Rick, what other guilty pleasures do we have to enjoy?
Well, number 5, I thought you might enjoy this one. Giving off work.
What?
Not here.
Not here. Never. Not at Motherhood.
Mm-mm.
No, we never take the day off and go to the movies and eat pizza.
Right.
Never.
It says, this is one that shouldn't be abused. Use in extreme moderation and make sure that you can't be caught.
Yes, so don't announce it on
Sandra.
so don't announce it on the air that some days you guys leave and go and eat pizza and watch movies. Which brings us to the next one, Rick.
Eating rubbishy food.
That would be your specialty.
I think so. But it's like combinations of rubbishy foods. You know, you can't
like Fritos and dip?
Have I been eating that? I don't really eat dip.
No, I like to eat that. That would be me.
Okay. The chips. I think my most rubbishy thing I eat is probably those energy drinks, which I don't drink as much of, but
I don't know if that qualifies as rubbishy
I don't
food.
think so.
I think your big greasy hamburger.
Okay, cheeseburgers and fries qualify then.
With chili fries, chili sauce,
fries.
and cheese all over it. That's rubbishy
chili
food.
cheese pie like they have at Sonic.
I never had one of those. I would feel too guilty to order that.
Okay, I'll order it for you because I feel no guilt. It's a bowl of Fritos, and then they put chili on top with cheese.
I would never eat that.
You can hear yourself getting fat as you devour it.
I know. I can
hear
feel
you
it.
getting fatter.
I know. Don't even talk about it.
Okay, Rick, let's go right to number 9.
Number 9, laughing at other people.
What?
Never do that.
I never laugh at other people.
This is like number 1 in your list, Miss Sandra.
It is. I do. I think people are funny, and I'm just going to say it out for everyone because I don't really care anymore about anything. But when I worked in my office in Beverly Hills, I had a top floor corner office, and it overlooked this big, like, plaza area that had these huge, like, 2-foot by 2-foot pavers that got really slick when it rained, and it didn't rain that much. But when it did,
nice,
I would be glued to the window. I wouldn't even go out for lunch. I would just sit there waiting for people to slip and fall. And if I knew them, it was even funnier.
Something about people falling, even though you don't want them to be hurt, it's the act of them falling is funny. It is. I mean, people are probably like, you know, but it is funny.
Well, and the best part, because it was Beverly Hills, people would, like, slip and slide in their, you know, Jimmy Choos and their fancy clothes, and then they would get up really quick and then look around and like, did anybody see that? And I'm like, damn straight I did. In fact, if I had a video camera, it'd be on the web this afternoon.
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm the one I saw it.
Oh, yeah, people
Can I
fall
ask
down.
a question, though?
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Now, since we all enjoy laughing at people, do you get offended if others laugh at you? If you're the one who slipped and fell, or you do something stupid? Like, I personally think it's fair game. Like, I'll laugh at you. If I do something dumb, you know, feel free to laugh at me. But there are some people that don't like to be laughed at, even if they laugh at me.
Well, you know, you can answer this because I fell out of the car in front of you. We were going somewhere, and
I didn't laugh like out loud, thank goodness. But I mean, it was kind of.
What's funny?
I did. I threw my backpack on the floor in the car, and it has really long leather straps. And then I was like wiggling my feet and listening to music, and then I realized I got my feet all tangled up. And then when we got where we were going, I went to get out of the car. And I couldn't get my feet apart. I got one foot out, and the other one was tied to the other one, and I fell in the parking lot.
Did you laugh, Rick?
You did. You did laugh at me, admit it.
Yeah, so, I mean, be honest, how often do you see that?
Good point.
Good point.
Yeah.
I fell off the treadmill at the gym before.
That is funny. When people do that, that's the best.
And it's funny, but I didn't have time to look and see. Well, I got up so fast.
Did you?
I don't know if anybody saw me or not.
Oh, they did.
But I did get a little.
You fell in the vacuum for 24-hour fitness. It's like 1,000 people there working out. Going, oh, look at her.
This was a Gold's Gym.
Oh, even worse, because you got all the muscle heads there. Going, oh, my God.
Oh, my God. No, actually, it was early in the morning, but still, there's still, you know, the regulars that went there. But I never got up so fast in my life. Even
did you look around like, oh, did anybody see that?
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, let me get back on the treadmill. Like it never happened. All limping a little bit, but other than that.
Rick, you ever fell down in public?
Fell down in public?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've done it at church. I've dropped my guitar when I was playing. I knocked a microphone over. The pastor was praying. I mean, it goes on and on. Yeah, I've fallen. I was playing a tennis match, playing doubles, and my partner and I, we just won the point. I think I was playing with Jeff. We won the point. I'm celebrating, and I decided to jump over the net.
Oh, no,
but it was a big epic running jump, and I'm like, attack. Just the tip of my toe catches. I fall and slide. My whole elbow is cut up, and it's just dripping blood everywhere. And everybody's like laughing, but kind of like, oh. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, you just reminded me. I did something stupid like that, too. When I was in junior high school, we had these the nets were really low, and I was running because I wanted to get dressed in my PE clothes so no one would see me. So I was running, and I did the whole jump, and I didn't make it, and I did the same thing, which was horrifying.
I've done it twice, though. That's the sad thing. Like, I did it again, like, the next week. You know, like, I figured it out, and I still clipped it again. The secret is don't make a big, long-running jump. It's about height, not about distance.
That's a good point.
Right? Yeah, so...
That's good advice.
Yeah.
See, my best fall, I think, was I was on a date, and I had on this cute little mini skirt and tights, and it was like winter white, mini skirt and winter white tights. And the guy I was with, I don't remember who it was, but we were at the movie theaters, and they were the seats that flip down and flip up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Well, I was too busy talking, not watching what I was doing. And I ran into one of the seats that was down, and I fell face first. I'm serious, like face first down on my elbows. And like my feet are up in the air, but I was laughing so hard I couldn't get back up.
Well, at least you didn't get really hurt. That would suck.
No, but I did like rip my knees, and my panty, and like my tights got holes in the knees, and my arms were all covered from
That's a good look.
sticky stuff from the bottom of the movie theater. Yeah, we didn't have a second date.
He was probably like, wow.
Wow. She's a spaz. Well, you know, I don't even know at this point how to segue into our guest. So I'm just going to say thank you guys for taking me from a really foul mood at the beginning of the show to be, like, seriously cracking up and having a good time. So we are going to ask, first of all, before we go into our next segment, I'm going to ask either of you, any other Wipeout stories?
I have one more.
Okay, because we've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and then we'll bring our guest Kitty on.
I was training for a marathon, and I was running up Santa Monica Boulevard, and this carload of people were like, hey, waving, and I was like, oh, nice, you know, feeling all good about myself. I turned to wave. I totally tripped. I fell. I skinned my knee. There was blood dripping down my leg.
Oh.
I got up so fast, and my friend who was jogging with me, she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm okay. Just don't look at my leg. I was mortified. It was awful. Santa Monica Boulevard, busy street.
Hundreds and hundreds of cars.
I mean, it's something you see in the movies. Because, you know, they must have thought, that's so great. Like, just, you know, down I went. Felt like slow motion. And I just, you know, all this blood.
Did you look cute while you were falling down, at least?
Probably not. It was fast. Fast and hard.
Fast and hard. Awful. Yeah, I don't know which one is better, the movie theater or public display on Santa Monica Boulevard. Though the tennis one, you know, Rick's dad,
that is great.
I think that one has to win, because not only did he do it once, but he did it twice.
I've done a lot of things twice, and that's when everyone's like, yeah, Polish point.
Slow learner.
That's where that all started.
Polish in you. Oh, well, we are going to come back after the break. We're going to talk about toys, which is a really fun topic. We have Kitty Morse from Heirloom Wooden Toys. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm the host of Motherhood Talk Radio, along with Slip and Fall Holly and Trip Over the Net Swanson.
That's right.
And when we come back after the break, we will have more fun and frolic and talk about toys. Yay.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these. Parents, if you feel overloaded, overworked, underappreciated, and seriously stressed out, The Parents Plate is here to help you. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon, Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet. It's time to build stronger families through parent empowerment, and that's what The Parents Plate does. The Parents Plate understands the busyness of life and balancing child rearing and other commitments. Brenda Nixon will be talking to noted experts and authors on all issues, from teething to teen driving. Brenda Nixon is a nationally recognized speaker to parents and childcare professionals and author of the award-winning The Birth to 5 book. From Fox 4 in Kansas City to schools and synagogues to businesses to bookstores, conferences to churches, audiences rave that Brenda engages, educates, and encourages. For more information on Brenda and her books, check out her website, brendanixon.com. The Parents Plate is loaded with information and affirmation. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Hey moms, get ready for Living the Dream Mom with Nina Fry. Thursday mornings at 10, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Living the Dream Mom is about the true realities of motherhood, the beauty and the rewards of watching your children grow.
All these moms have something in common. They put their kids first. It's not about the kids all the time and the diapers and the bottles and the breastfeeding. It's about showcasing the mother in motherhood. Real moms in the real world. You get it? Now that's what the show's about. So every week, let's get together and we'll share these great stories with you guys. And I hope by the end of the show, you'll be saying, you know what? That is my life. Nina gets it. And I can't hardly wait to see what she brings me next week.
Don't miss the next Living the Dream Mom. It's real moms in the real world. Thursday mornings at 10, 9 a.m. Central. Living the Dream Mom with Nina Fry on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Hi, we're here at Motherhood Talk Radio while Christy and Rick debate the merits of making coffee, and apparently you made coffee in my house.
I made Starbucks. Yummy.
You made Starbucks. And did you offer me any?
You have Diet Coke and you don't drink coffee.
Oh, okay. But I still would like to be asked.
All right.
No, I like Cafe au lait. All right. Well, we are here on Motherhood Talk Radio, and Christy is giving me the evil look, and now she's whispering things at me that I fail to understand, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Okay.
We have Kitty at Heirloom Wooden Toys today, which is a really great company. It's online. You guys should check it out, heirloomwoodentoys.com. They carry a lot of products that I really like. I not only, obviously I do the Toys for Tots raising, but I work with a lot of children's charities, and I have donated over the years many, 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 many toys and sustainable toys for places like Exceptional Children's Foundation, different homeless and foster care organizations take these toys. And the one thing I like about wooden toys is that they last, and they last a long time. And there's, we're going to talk with Kitty about being sustainable and toys that can be handed down for generations. And especially, Christy, you've got 3 kids. It's really great to get a set of toys that can go through multiple kids.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you think of, Rick is, one of 6. So, you get one of those wooden toys. We will challenge the Swanson brothers, all 5 of them, to break these wooden toys on the air. So, Kitty, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
You've been very patient while we talk just nonsense over here.
That's okay. It's been very funny.
So let me ask you, before we get into Heirloom Wooden Toys, have you fallen down lately?
I actually can't remember the last time I fell down.
We must push her.
No, but I'm sure it has happened.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen now.
I know, I'm due, right? Like an earthquake.
That'll be next week on the air. Did you hear what happened to Kitty? She tripped over a wooden toy.
I'll be in the news.
It'll be in the news. So, Kitty, why don't you, for our listeners who are not aware of the fabulous Kitty Morse, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, okay, I'm a wife and mother of 2 teenagers now, and in my former life, I was a CPA. Then I stayed home for a while with my kids and went back to work as a consultant part-time, and now my kids are bigger, and we were kind of looking for a little more work to do, so we acquired this business last year, and so I've been doing that since then.
So you went from being a CPA to a toy company owner. I would say you got really bored being a CPA, because that's a big jump.
Well, I was never a tax accountant or like the super boring kind of accountant. My last job before I left was I was a manager of financial reporting at the Walt Disney Company.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot more fun. Well, we're like boring CPA stories or fun Disney stories.
I know. It was really fun. Very, very fun. And not that much, like the arcana of tax law and all that stuff. That's not interesting to me. But it was fun learning about the businesses and getting to see kind of the top view of what was going on in a company like that. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool. I worked for Disney too. I worked, but I worked in the studios down in Burbank, and I really learned nothing from my time there. But I did come away with lots and lots of Disney stuff. You know, the 2 years that I was there, all I did was build lease databases. It was really boring. It was probably more boring than accounting, but
you got a nice 35% discount, didn't you?
I did, and I'll tell you, I used it, and I used those Disney passes, and you know, by God, I've never gone back because I was just done with Disney when I left.
Yeah.
So toys. Tell me, let's talk about toys, especially wooden toys. You know, I wonder, like, you know, when you think about people going, oh, we'll buy wooden toys, you know, I always, it's a thing, and this is terrible. I'm like, oh my God, the paint is toxic, you know, the wood's chopped down from trees that are not sustainable, but that's really not true.
No, I think most companies that are making toys out of wood now are at least the ones I know, are very, very conscious of the impact that they're having on the environment. And so they're using trees that are harvested, you know, from locally. So I have one company, their wood doesn't travel more than 50 miles from the tree stump to their wood shop. So they're saving on transportation costs and the whole carbon footprint thing. And a lot of companies are using rubber wood, which can be forested, you know, and managed like that. So nobody is really cutting down the rainforest to make toys.
See, and that's good to know, because that's, you know, when I was telling, you know, some friends of mine, you know, about who was going to be on the show this week, and I was asking, like, you know, what kind of questions would you want me to ask, you know, somebody who's clearly a toy expert having a toy company, and the one thing came up over and over. It's like, well, you know, we think wooden, you know, you think paper, recycle, everything's got to be recyclable and green, and, you know, to hear that most of the wooden toys today, if not all of them, and definitely the wooden toys offered by HeirloomWoodenToys.com, shameless plug, is something, because you carry Melissa and Doug products, don't you?
We do.
I love their stuff.
Amongst other things, and Plan Toys. And those are manufactured overseas, but they're using primarily rubber wood, and that those are sustainably forested. And there's different schools of thought about, you know, what's the best way to do it. The rubber wood toys are generally a little bit less expensive than the other ones, but if somebody is really doing their homework and they, you know, have a particular opinion about it, then you can certainly seek out, you know, I have one company, this one that I mentioned before, they're in Vermont, and they make all their toys out of Vermont maple hardwood. So you can find it.
See, and that's so cool. So if somebody out there is listening is kind of a greenie and they want to, you know about the toys they're buying and not want to buy your typical, you know, just plastic mass market manufactured things, heading to Heirloom Wooden Toys, they could email you and ask questions about the product. Isn't that correct?
They sure could. They could give me a call anytime, and I'd be happy to talk about it. I talk about it all day long.
You talk toys all day long. So
I do, especially this time of year.
I bet. So what are some of the big sellers this year?
Well, our biggest seller this year, and actually for many years, is the Learning Tower, where there's two products that are very similar. One's called the Learning Tower, and one's the Kitchen Helper. And they are standing platforms that will bring young children, like toddler age, 18 months or so and older, up to countertop height. It has an adjustable platform, and it's got four sides. So unlike pulling your kitchen chair up to the counter or just a step stool, they'll be safe. They won't fall off.
So it's like a four-sided stool, if you will. So it's got like railings. So they'd stand on the seat, and then it would have like a four-sided rail around it. So they're not wiping out off the chair, which is
it's like a little like the little basket of a cherry picker or something, right there on your kitchen floor. And the height is adjustable, so they could go at the countertop or they could stand at the table. I've talked to people whose kids are going through a phase where they don't want to sit in a chair at dinner, so they'll bring the Learning Tower up and just put it on the lowest height, and they can stand there, and they have a place at the table. But the idea is to, kids always want to participate. They want to help. They want to help cook. They want to help whatever's going on in the kitchen. And rather than worrying about them touching the stove or falling off, you can have them there, and they can participate. And it's a wonderful way to bring kids into the way the household works.
That's pretty neat. And it's something, and it's made of wood, and it like you can use it for multiple kids.
Oh, yeah, you can. The learning tower is big enough to hold 2 kids at once, even.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Kids that get along.
I know. Yeah, and with the adjustable height, if you have different age kids, which I know you guys both do, you can use it for the bigger one and the smaller one with just a quick shift of the platform.
Or you could buy 2, and then it could be like Rockin' Sock'em Kids.
You could try that. I have one friend who bought 1 learning tower, but 2, there are these easels that hang off the side that you can get. She bought 2 easels because she has 3 little boys. Actually, she has 4. She just had her 4th little boy, who's 3 weeks old, maybe.
Aww.
But she has her one who loves to help cook, and then the other 2 fight over the easels, so she bought 2 easels. So she has 1 kid helping her at the counter and the other 2 drawing on the whiteboard.
That's smart. I mean, anything to keep them occupied.
Right, and then they're there with you. They want to be with you anyway, rather than saying, go play, get away, get away. You might as well...
Have you read my mind?
Embrace them. Well, most of the time we want them with us, don't we?
Most of the time.
Okay, some of the time.
So let's talk about different age groups. Like, what are some good selling products that you would recommend for, like, kids, like, 5 and under? I know it's kind of a big age range, but
well, yeah. If I guess my top recommendation is if your family doesn't have a good set of wooden blocks, that's something every household with kids should have. It doesn't have to be very big, but I think it's one of those great toys that every age group can play with, and they can play with it in any way. And you can always add to it as their interests change or they get bigger and they want more, that kind of thing. So that's a great item.
That would be a great item for grandparents, too, that, like, who might not, want to, like, know what to get that's, like, can be used for years and years. Because I think of our wooden block set, and, we started, sorting and shaping in colors, and then we built stuff, and, then we went through our Thomas the Train years, and everything was Thomas. So then we used the wooden blocks to build bridges and, do all these different things. I mean, they're really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's the classic open-ended toy, the kind of toy that every kid is going to play with a little bit differently, and it works for all of them.
Well, and it's fun for everybody. It's adults and kids. I mean, it's like, there's some kids' games that someone in the room here brought me the Ladybug game for my 3-year-old, and we have played that stupid game like 4,000 times this year. If I could play that Ladybug game one more time, I much would rather have the blocks, because then I could whip them at Christy when she comes in. Thank you.
Yes.
So Rick is saying that he had Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs. Do they even still sell those?
Yeah, sure they do. I actually have a vendor on my site that has a building set that's similar to Lincoln Logs, only it's way bigger. His biggest timbers are like 24 inches long, and you can build like a massive covered bridge, and it's really, really neat. So there's a lot of stuff like that, too.
Cool. Well, I got to cut you off because we're about to go to commercial break. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with Christy Holly, and there's a Lincoln Log set with 24-inch posts that we're going to get for Rick for Christmas.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these. It's time to get your boots on with the Boot Campaign with hosts Megan Roth and Bailey Gray, Thursdays at noon, 1 Central on TogiNet.com, sponsored by Austin Bank. The whole point of the Boot Campaign is to continue the true grassroots initiative developed by a group of patriotic women known as the Boot Girls. Inspired by the true story of Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, the Boot Girls got started with celebrities but want every American to get your boots on by purchasing a pair of the Give Back Combat Boots. The campaign's motto is simple: when they come back, we give back. For more on the Boot Campaign, go to the website bootcampaign.com. The Boot Campaign Get Your Boots On show will feature discussions on current events impacting the lives of active duty and retired military, interviews with our nation's war heroes, medical professionals, and celebrities who have put their boots on. Do your part and join us for The Boot Campaign Get Your Boots On show with Megan Roth and Bailey Gray, Thursdays at noon, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown with Alex Price.
So where were you in the 1970s? Well, this Saturday morning, we're going to flash back to the 70s as we count down the classic hits with the American Rock and Roll Countdown. You'll hear news and information and stories about the artist and what was going on during the specific week that we highlight. So be sure to join us at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this Saturday on TogiNet for the American Rock and Roll Countdown.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown on TogiNet.
Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Hey, mamas, I'm in a good mood now, and Christy's not. Whatever, she's picking on the greenies. So go ahead, what was your statement that you made at the break?
I'm sorry, but I was just saying that, people that are worrying about the rainforest and stuff, which is fine, but these wooden toys are, in fact, being recycled when they're handed down to a younger brother, a younger sister, or a cousin, or somebody. So they are being recycled. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, well, that was a good thing, because you know what, I don't think you made anybody mad.
No, I shouldn't.
It's not like you called them fat.
That's right.
But fat people who don't recycle, okay, we have an issue. But you're right, it's true. It's like we have some favorite toys, like I think at my mom's house, like I have from my grandma, actually. She had this little store that came from Germany, and it was a little storefront, and it had little loaves of bread, and everything was handcrafted out of wood. And there was like a little baker, and there was a little butcher, and you could hang all these things up. And of course, we chewed on the bread because we thought we could eat it. And I think I chewed the feet out of one of the dolls, but I was a foot chewer. Did you know? Did you ever chew the feet of your Barbies?
No.
Okay.
No. You've got issues.
You can chew the feet. And all my Barbies had like the plastic sticks.
You've got issues, my friend.
All right, I'll just take my oral fixation elsewhere. But I did chew on. But you never chewed on a toy.
I don't know.
Yeah, Rick chews on pens. He still chews on pens.
No, I'm going to say no.
Okay, well, all right. You're a much better person than I am. Kitty, what about you? You ever chew on anything?
Oh, sure.
See?
But I'm not going to tell you what.
Sport. She can come on every week. As long as we can push her down now and then.
Yeah.
So that's some great advice. Like, I really like, the idea, like, blocks are so simple, but they're so versatile, and they can be handed down, Christy, from child to child.
Christy is absolutely right. It's not even really recycling. It's still being used as a toy. It doesn't have to go through any kind of process to become a toy for the next generation. So it's the ultimate recycling.
That's right.
See, this is why we love you. But it's, when I think of, like, my company gets solicited a lot by different charities to fund, certain things. And every Christmas for the past at least 10 or 15 years, I can't remember how long, I've bought sets of toys that will go to group play areas. And I'll tell you, choosing wooden toys and choosing, a lot of the things that you offer in your store, which is heirloomwoodentoys.com, they really do make a difference, because I'll go back to some of these organizations. I'll stop in if I'm nearby and say hello, and I'll look in there, and I will see toys I've bought years past. I mean, they're beat to crap. I mean, but that's a good thing, because, they're getting used and they're getting played with. But, it's really hard to break a wooden block. When you think of a lot of, like, we got Don't Break the Ice, that game, it is so poorly constructed. I can't even tell you. And it's like every time I try to take that thing apart, I cut myself, the plastic is sharp, and those little cubes are not even full cubes.
Yeah. Well, and with blocks and other wooden things, even if they get dinged up or they get crayons on them or food or anything like that, it doesn't affect the way that you play with them. They're still, they might look a little worse for wear, but they work just fine.
And we've taken Sharpie markers because we're big in our family. We recycle clothes to the different siblings. We send boxes of toys to each other so that, as our kids get older, they go to the younger ones. And, we have these blocks that the kids have signed. They wrote their name on it.
That's cute.
Because Sharpie, you can decorate the wood, and then you can repaint them, which is really fun.
Sure.
So they have a lot of use. Now, what about for older kids? Like, we know what we're going to get Rick for Christmas. What was that product called?
Timberworks Toys.
Timberworks Toys.
Yeah, they're U.S. made, and they're wonderful.
We'll see if he likes them.
Okay. Let me know.
Okay, now what about for our older kids, like maybe 7, 8, 9 years old? What would you recommend for them in the wooden toy family?
Well, the Timberworks Toys would actually be a great choice for those. There are 3 different sets of varying sizes. There's one with wheels, and there's a lot of fun to be had there if the kid is into building. I also like a lot of games. I think games are a great way for kids to start learning. The younger ones learn taking turns, and then as they get older, you make them more complex, and they learn sportsmanship and strategy, and there's just a lot going on. Plus, there's a lot of reading and color recognition and all that kind of stuff. So even a simple game like just tic-tac-toe or variations on tic-tac-toe, we have a few of those by a company called Blue Orange. There's a game called Goblet Gobblers for little kids, and then there's Goblet for the older ones. It's a 3x3 tic-tac-toe grid, but there's little characters that there's larger ones and smaller ones, and the big ones can gobble up the smaller ones. So there's another level of fun. And I also
really cool.
It's really, really fun. And I also like musical instruments for kids.
Oh.
Yeah, even just toy musical instruments. Percussion is a great place to start for little ones. And the older ones can have, there's things like, we have a little harp in our store that's very simple to use. And there are toy pianos. And these are, without putting a huge investment into a real instrument, you can just introduce your kid to the concept of rhythm and music and singing along and all that stuff. And I think most kids enjoy it when there's not a lot of pressure attached.
That's true. Well, and it's so funny you said that because I would never thought musical instruments for Heirloom Wooden Toys. I had a different vision in mind of, like little toys you can pull, little hammer blocks, things like that. But yeah, to have little wooden toys like that would be really cool.
Now that she said that, I've seen some. It makes total sense.
It does make total sense.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Now, let me ask you, do you sell any Scrabble games? Because I just don't care what people think about me anymore. I am a huge Scrabble fan, and I actually collect Scrabble games. I got, for my son this year, I got him the Diary of a Wimpy Kid Scrabble. And we have Shrek Scrabble, and we have the Presidential Scrabble, and we have, what else do I have? I have the NHL Scrabble. But, I'm disappointed with a lot of them because they come with plastic parts. And I love the wood tiles, and I have the Barnes & Noble limited edition black one. I have the crystal one. I am a loser, pretty much.
Wow, I'm so impressed. I love Scrabble, too.
Well, it's something you can play. It's like I used to play it with my 80-year-old neighbor when I was growing up. God rest her soul. She was so much fun. She beat the pants off me year after year, and I was probably
She was 80.
She was, but I was probably like 23 by the time I actually beat her in a game. I mean, I took a whipping like every single day from her in the summer, and she was very patient with me, and she just had an amazing vocabulary. But it's a really fun game, and do you guys sell any different Scrabble games, or did I pick the one game you don't carry?
Right, exactly. Well, Scrabble is a trademark game, and you can find it anywhere. We're more about things that you can't necessarily find at Toys R Us. And Scrabble is difficult for very young kids to play. We used to play at our house. We would just team up. My husband and I would each get one kid, and we'd play team Scrabble. And that was fun. But I think you have asked me about the one game that we don't have.
I have a knack for that. It's like I'll ask you the one question nobody's ever asked before, or embarrass the heck out of you, like I did to Donna at our holiday cooking party when I brought up her pole dancing.
Oh.
It's a workout class. It's not real pole dancing, but. So, what are some what other type of games do you have? You mentioned like you had tic-tac-toe. Do you have any other board games?
Oh, sure. We do have some really nice, gorgeous checkerboards that are made by that company I was mentioning before, Maple Landmark. I have a nice line from Blue Orange. We have cribbage games. We have.
Do you have chess? Do you have different pretty chess games?
I actually don't, because it's very hard to get them that are made for younger kids. You know, little kids have a hard time with the complicated rules of chess.
Yeah, I was thinking more for me.
For you. Okay, well, I'll get you some.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I bought this one chess set in Mexico, and I had it for years, but with all the moves I've made, like, all the parts have fallen apart, like, I knocked the king's head off. I mean, it's just not really fun, because it's really just glued together, and it was really heavy. It was like this big wooden chest. It was a fortune, and it had all little inlaid marble tiles, and I finally donated it, I think, to a library, because it was just too much upkeep. But
yeah. Well, I bet it was gorgeous.
Oh, it was gorgeous until I ruined it. And it was not sustainable.
Right.
It did not get passed. Well, I guess it did get passed down. But now, what about checkers? Do you have?
What about Chinese checkers?
Oh, Chinese checkers.
Yeah, we have some wooden Chinese checker sets. There's a smaller one for younger kids, and then the bigger one. Now, you wouldn't want to have that in a house where, I mean, obviously with the marbles, you can't have that around very young children. But
chokables.
Right. Exactly. But we have a bunch of different checkerboards, and at Maple Landmark you can pick the checkers with a laser engraved shape that you want. Like you could get a bear or a moon, or yeah, they're really cute, or an apple or something like that. Ones with an apple might be a really nice holiday present for your child's teacher, for example.
Good idea. Or that one with a moose on it would be a really good holiday gift for me.
Okay.
Because I'm from the Upper East Coast, and I have like a tote bag from L.O. Bean that has moose on it, and I just think moose are great creatures, and would love to shoot one at one point, but that's a whole other show.
Okay.
Whoa.
Did you just say that out loud?
I did. PETA. Whoa, but I mean, I would eat it. I don't know if you eat it, but Christy, what do you think? Like the meat we get from the supermarket just lays down, separates itself, throws itself under the blister pack, and then comes to your grocery store?
Well, you know, yes, that's what happens in my house.
All right. See, Rick and I, we're on the same wavelength there. He put PETA, people eating tasty animals.
Nice.
All right, let's go back to toys. Because we have 1 minute. Kitty, one piece of advice for moms buying toys today. What do you got? Other than go to heirloomwoodentoys.com. And is there a code that people can put in? Do you have any promotions going on?
I do. Through the 15th of December, we have a 10% off coupon. Just type in December 2010, December 2010. Or sorry, 2010. No quotes, no caps, and you'll get 10% off your order. I guess the one, people go through a lot of steps when they're trying to think about what to get for their kids, especially if they're buying for a child that's not their own. They try to overthink it. The main thing, I think, once you do choose something is just to give it freely and give it with love, and don't be too attached to how much or little the kid plays with it, because kids are unpredictable.
Thank God you got that in under the gun. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm the host of Motherhood Talk Radio. I'm here with Christy Holly and Rick Swanson. Kitty Morse was our guest today. HeirloomWoodenToys.com. Check it out. We will see you guys next week.
Thank you for being a part of Motherhood Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Christy Holly on TogiNet.com. Join us every Tuesday as we